The future is looking really bright for Sony and PlayStation. Hey everyone, I'm Ricky with WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 amazing upcoming PS4 games. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. We're looking at games coming to the PS4 that have fans most excited, regardless of whether or not they have a firm release date. Alright, let's see some great games. Number 10, Dying Light 2.
To preserve ourselves from the terrors of the night and the horrors of the day.
An open-world zombie game isn't exactly groundbreaking, but there were a few elements that set the original Dying Light apart from others. For one, it featured light RPG elements in the way players could craft and upgrade their weapons, most of which were melee-based. For another, it featured fantastic free-running parkour mechanics, making traversal incredibly fun and satisfying. The sequel will take everything that made the first one fun while introducing a heavier focus on the player's choices. Choosing to help one group of survivors will not only impact what happens to other people, but will also impact the environment around you. With so much variety in your choices, Dying Light 2 looks to be a post-apocalyptic experience unlike many others. Number 9, Shenmue III. Fans of this saga have been waiting an awfully long time for a new entry. After a couple of delays, they'll be able to return to Ryo's story this summer. First appearing on the Sega Dreamcast, the first two games in this action-adventure series followed a young martial artist as he searched for his father's murderer. With a heavier focus on story than most games at the time, it's easy to see why they were able to draw players in. They have since become cult classics, and the Kickstarter campaign for Shenmue III was one of the most successful of all time. Hopefully this title, which improved graphics and gameplay, will be like greeting a very old friend. Number 8, Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Monkey's got a date.
Ubisoft has proven they know how to create vast, exciting landscapes with their Assassin's Creed series. It's been a long time since they visited this particular sci-fi world, though it looks to be their most expansive and content-filled one yet.
Popping out of the cockpit and into the cold abyss of space allows you to use your spyglass to investigate a planet, peering down at treasure-hiding geoglyphs, cities, and settlements.
Serving as a prequel to the original game, players will control a space pirate captain as they traverse an open world in search of riches, glory, and power. Instead of traversing a singular planet, we'll be able to venture to multiple planets in a galaxy. Everything from your character to your crew to your ships will be customizable. With so many options on how to build your career, and considering this was in development hell for a decade, we are positively teeming with excitement. Number 7, Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled. Sometimes, it's enough to get excited for a game simply because it's fun. You won't find any massive worlds here. Instead, you'll find a lush, beautiful remake of a kart racer that some fans have decreed superior to Mario Kart 64. With the success of the Insane trilogy, it was no surprise to learn about the remake of the last Crash game developed by Naughty Dog. While purchasing the Switch version will come with the appeal of taking it on the go, the PS4 version has its own highlights. Retro-themed skins, karts, and tracks will only be found on Sony's version. It's a great time to be a Crash fan, and this will undoubtedly provide a heavy dose of nostalgia for many. Number 6, Borderlands III. Since the last entry in this dystopic FPS RPG hybrid series, we've seen a ton of games released that have followed in Gearbox's footsteps. But arguably, none of them have been able to fill this franchise's shoes. This is exactly why we were so ecstatic to hear that a new entry was on its way. It looks to feature the zany cast of heroes, villains, and NPCs we've come to expect from the series, who are both unique in terms of personality and their abilities. Plus, the addictive gameplay and insane loot and weapons are back as well. The new trailer teases the return of many of these characters, as well as ones like supernaturally gifted Amara and the beast summoning robot, Flak. Sign us up. Number 5. Ghost of Tsushima. Coming from Sucker Punch, the team behind the fantastic Sly Cooper and Infamous franchises, this upcoming title looks to be their most story-heavy and artistic game so far.
They already won.
Set in 1274 on Tsushima Island, Japan, players will control Jin, the last samurai on the island, as the Mongolian invasions begin. While not historically accurate, the team have consulted experts to make sure they get feudal Japan's representation just right. You can even switch dialogue to Japanese for higher immersion. Not only that, but they also consulted a sword-fighting expert and used several samurai-centric films as inspiration, such as Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai. This looks to be an immensely engaging and ultimately heartbreaking experience. Number 4. Doom Eternal. One must only look at Bethesda's 2016 reboot of the classic FPS series to realize why we're so thrilled about a sequel. That title, while light on story, was heavy on guns-blazing, demon-slaying fun. Developer id Software expertly balanced the satisfaction that came from ripping through your enemies with the suspense that came from constant movement lest you be overwhelmed. The upcoming sequel, which we know to take place on both Earth and Mars's moon Phobos, will bring new mechanics to the already near-perfect gunplay. Additions will include a grappling hook, an arm blade for quick, gory kills, wall climbing, and armaments that can be attached to your armor like a flamethrower and a grenade launcher. It's time for some good old-fashioned ultra-violence. Number 3. Death Stranding. By far the most difficult to pin down on this list, simply because we don't know what kind of game it will be, is director Hideo Kojima's next project. The mystery surrounding its story, as well as the fact that this will be Kojima's first game since leaving Konami in 2015, has us enticed to say the least. Classified as an action game set in an open-world environment, Kojima has stated a key theme of the game will be the connection between life and death, though he also promises it will be something entirely new to the action genre. The talent behind it and the promise of something unlike anything we've experienced is allure enough. We don't know what it is, we just know that we want it. Number 2. Cyberpunk 2077.
The city's streets are bustling with crowds of people from all facets of life, all living their lives within a full day and night cycle.
4 years after its release, The Witcher 3 is still considered by many to be the best open-world game ever made. So, naturally, the next game by developer CD Projekt Red has us more than a little excited. Cyberpunk 2077 will focus on a highly customizable mercenary in a dystopic landscape where citizens rely heavily on robotics.
So, how's it look to you?
With the scanner, we can zoom in on things and take a closer look.
Dystopic being the key word, as Night City is riddled with crime and all citizens are allowed to carry weapons and cybernetically enhance their bodies. Night City will be a living, breathing location with a full day-night cycle, and NPCs that speak different languages, and options on how to increase everything from weapons to skill sets to relationships. There is no doubt in our minds that this will deliver another expertly crafted story and environment.
Need to get to know this city, Jack. Not just gun in hand. I want a crusade.
Amen, I know.
Before we get to our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
Theirs. Ours.
Grab your friends, grab some controllers, and take your champion from zero to hero!
Whoa! You're alive?
Number 1. The Last of Us Part 2.
What are you doing, kiddo? You really gonna go through with this?
2013's The Last of Us was a monumental achievement not only for Naughty Dog and Sony, but for the video game medium as a whole. It showed what could be possible in terms of story, characterization, and voice acting with supreme significance.
But I can't walk on the path of the right because I'm wrong.
Players grew to care for the troubled Ellie in the original, and that love will undeniably grow exponentially as they continue the story with her in the protagonist's role. The game also looks to bring smarter AI, with enemies seeking out your hiding places and alerting others to your location. Naughty Dog has a tremendous track record, and it wouldn't have felt right putting anything else in the top spot.
He should be terrified.
Wow, I am going to be absolutely broke when all of these games launch. There's just so many good games coming out. Guys, let us know what games you're most excited for down in the comment section, and if you like this list, be sure to like and subscribe to WatchMojo.